Hello, and with me today I have Vivi Himmel of AltoVita. So welcome, Vivi.
Thank you so much, Fiona. Thank you so much for having me in this incredibly beautiful garden of England.
That's a pleasure. Lovely to see you here. So you've been having a meteoric rise, I think, with in corporate housing and your business and all sorts of things. So congratulations on that. But tell me first how you got into this area and how it relates to global mobility.
Yeah, thank you. So my co-founder, Carolina Saviva, and we started AltoVita about 3.5 years ago. We wanted to come up with a very simple mission, which is to standardize and provide quality assurance to the Airbnb type of apartments. But we soon realized, very soon actually, that it was the corporate clients who really resonated with our unique value proposition. And so then began our research, and we stumbled upon global mobility, which actually is very familiar to the both of us. Myself for sure, because I was relocated as an assignee from New York to Hong Kong, at the time by Santa Fe, and then from Hong Kong to London by Asian Tiger. So the whole assignee journey felt extremely familiar to me, and that's how we started. And it's been 2 years now since we've been with Global Mobility, and very, very privileged and very happy and humble to be in this incredible sector.
So did you think you could do things better from your experience? Was that
I do hope so. Yes, so, as a tech founder, of course, what our mission is really to find that product market fit. That was the first and foremost. And we found it in this inefficiency processes. We saw that a lot of the corporate housing options were sent manually, copying and pasting, a lot of time with PDF, spreadsheet, email, not only on the corporate housing side, but also on the relocation management side. So when it comes to the assignee, sometimes it's very malformatted and you lose a lot of information, whereas actually there's a lot of information that can be useful for the assignee. So what we do at AltoVita is we use technology. We integrate directly with property management system. So anything that is being inputted by the property manager, service apartment operator, is seamlessly fed into our system, systematically in the content. And of course, we run through a very meticulous 2-tier quality control. It's essentially a thorough due diligence process that checks everything about the operator. So we go from the background check, business continuity, insurance, how well they conduct incident hospitality, and then how they resolve incident management. Once they pass that process, we look at every single property to make sure every single property conforms and complies with corporate standards. And after that, we integrate as well with the relocation management systems or their client-facing system, really truly eliminating any manual processes from the property manager all the way to the assignee.
So it's very seamless, but also it looks very nice, because that's the other
Thank you.
thing that I noticed.
Yes.
So the properties look very inviting.
Yes.
And they're not just corporate housing, is that right? You've got a mix of
Yes.
different
Well, thank you for commenting on the look. We have very talented technology team and product design team, very proud of them. And we usually develop a beautiful prototype, and our tech team has been able to translate the prototype into working products. So thank you so much for that. Yes, you're right. It's not just corporate housing. We offer very diversified portfolio of assets. So from service apartments, of course, professionalized unique homes, villas as well, apart hotels and co-living. The reason why we have done that is because assignees sometimes are being sent to very remote locations, and in those remote locations you don't find many professionalized property manager or service apartments, and therefore a hotel can be a balancing option for the assignees. And co-living is because we see that there's a big trend towards community-driven ecosystem that allows assignees to have both, work from home amenities and to be able to live and work, but at the same time have a community. So that's the trend that we have seen a lot, definitely during our recent APAC Rising Up webinars, where we had topics ranging from investor sentiment out of crisis to apartment of the future, trends driven by work from anywhere, as well as the smart home distribution technology.
So it's really suitable for any generation, but are you finding that perhaps younger international people are finding that this sort of co-living attractive?
Yes, I think this is definitely a product that was originally created for the younger generation, Gen Z, millennials, and not only popular in metropolitan cities, but also growing now in even second-tier cities. And yes, they are the digital first population, both on the booking side as well as on the guest journey. So it doesn't stop just after booking, right? It actually starts when they arrive at the property. So a lot of the kind of guest-facing technology has evolved a lot more. Definitely during COVID, it's beyond contactless. It's everything's basically done through their app, their mobile. So from ordering a room service to also knowing sort of where guests are, so that they can do cleaning seamlessly without having to knock, and then knowing that there's a guest inside and then you have to come back later on. So yeah, it has evolved tremendously fast over the past 15 months during the pandemic.
And I understand you've been involved in a report and you're running an innovation summit. So perhaps you can share some of the findings that you're noticing the trend.
Thank you. Yes, of course. So yeah, Innovation Summit is our effort to bring product development transparently live to the public. So we follow an agile development process from crowdsourcing the problems. We had about 400 people attending our design thinking session, and then we brought 5 different groups into focus group sessions, 5 regions, 5 continents, and 5 different sets of problems. And we demonstrated a lot of prototypes. We got the feedback. And in a few weeks' time, we're actually going to present the features we have been building since then. The attendees will be able to test drive the feature themselves, and we will house their feedback. And finally, product launch, 4th week of June.
Wow.
We would start from the US, East Coast, first day, second day EMEA, third day APAC, fourth day we go back to the US in the West Coast, and then we end up, we finish the whole entire 3-4 month event in Latin America.
Gosh.
And yes, findings. I just released a report yesterday, actually on my LinkedIn, wrote the article, and there were 6 very interesting common themes, if I may just run through those. So Laura Bruin from AIRS, she wisely said that we must not forget that 50% of relocation cases are complex and 50% are straightforward. Of course, with straightforward relocation, then technology can fully assist the process. I mentioned the manual processes can be taken out and fully seamlessly flowing into the different platforms and database. But the human-centric approach is also important for those complex cases. It can be pet relocation, family relocation, looking for safe and secure homes, so on and so forth. So in as a tech founder, you must highlight the importance of human-centric approach. And then, there are other trends like pet relocations that are extremely trendy. AltoVita, we're seeing a big surge of pet relocation actually. So furry friends, it's not just one, sometimes multiple pets, and sometimes even plants. They get relocated as well. So those are 2 of the 6 findings that we found from the whole Innovation Summit.
I remember being really surprised the first time I saw pets being going into hotels even, but then into apartments. But yes, quite common. And I think now since lockdown and the impact of the pandemic, people are wanting more and more pets. So it's a growth trend.
Absolutely. Yeah, makes sense. And I do hope that the the trend stays, but at the same time, I just heard a lot of horror stories about pet kidnapping, and I do hope that doesn't continue.
Right. So on the other end of the scale, perhaps families, they can be very complex, and of course in traditional global mobility there has always been a shortage of family accommodation big enough with space for children and spreading out an outdoor space.
Yes.
So how are you helping to solve that?
Yes, so that's why I think having the diversified portfolio of assets can be very useful, so that the signees and their families can choose not only like kind of what's the term, box in the sky type of apartment, but truly like a villa like this, like a living space that can house their children and pets comfortably during the first 1 or 2 months of their assignment, because we think that corporate housing, temporary housing is so important, because it is truly the first impression that the assignees feel of how their relocation is going, right? It gives them a place not only to live now, but also to work. So it's really becoming an anchor in my view anyway, in the relocation journey.
And very important for retention of talent, which
Yeah,
is
absolutely.
so scarce
Spot
and
on.
expensive.
Spot on.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. So that comes again from your personal experience.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I when I was relocated to London, my office was in Canary Wharf, but they put me in this gorgeous, beautiful apartment in Canary Wharf, and I thought, wow, I think I might not want to move after this. But of course, I moved to my permanent place, which I love too. But it really made me feel valued, that my company was giving me such a great option, housing
And
option.
so your properties are available for a very short time or a longer period? I mean, what is the minimum stay?
So, I mean, the minimum stay is really 2 nights, 3 nights. So, our platform allows users to book from 2 or 3 nights all the way up to 6 months, sometimes up to a year even. They keep getting extended. So that the trends that we were seeing sort of in the midst of the pandemic is that extensions were common and that stays were becoming longer. With quarantine period, first 14 days, the signees probably need another 2 or 3 weeks to find their home. So the average length of stay grew from less than 40 nights to over 40 nights, so 48, 49 days.
And you're truly global? Tell us some of the regions you're in. Or?
Yes. Yes, so this is why we think that sometimes the pandemic was actually quite a blessing for a small company like AltoVita. Before the pandemic, we were present in many different cities in EMEA, but we knew that we had to be global. We understood very early on the barrier to entry to this global mobility is to become global. So we discussed with my co-founder, Carolina. We said, yes, the world is going under currently, so we really streamlined a lot of our operations to the minimal. But we went ahead with 2 things. One, we continued on with our supply acquisition. So we expanded to Asia Pacific, Australia, and the whole of Asia, and the US, Latin America, and the MENA region as well during the pandemic. So we went from a European company to truly global during the pandemic. We went from a mere 9 people, employees, to now, I lose count honestly, but perhaps over 25 people right now in the team. So. And also the second thing we did was we really continued building our system. We essentially launched our 2nd generation of the system during the pandemic in September last year.
Brilliant. So just to summarise then, how do you think this technology is helping and supporting global mobility?
Yes, we are very API driven technology. So as I mentioned earlier, our key differentiator is really integrating the very fragmented property distribution market in the world. And we integrate with their system so that their information flows seamlessly to ours. As part of the Innovation Summit, we're going to launch the first ever public API of corporate housing. And our goal and vision is truly to connect the fragmented distribution system between corporate housing to relocation management companies. So our open API can be integrated very easily, and it gives RMCs or DSPs instant access to 1 million properties that we have in the database, fully vetted, and we also do like another layer of inspection 24 hours before assignee arrives, and all of those reports. We would like to also launch a feature that could seamlessly allow those reports to be accessible by relocation consultants so that they can access it before assignee arrives, or if there is any issue, it's something that they can refer back to. So it makes it easier for auditing anything, or management of the escalation.
So cost savings, time saving, and of course,
Absolutely.
Helping with risk and health and security.
Absolutely,
as well.
absolutely. And I think what's most important actually is to highlight that we would like to remove the manual processing, the copying and pasting, so that consultants or any stakeholders within this industry can deliver higher value work.
And of course, you mentioned people, and of course, you also have people behind your systems who are helping and engaging
Yes.
with everyone. Do you just
Absolutely.
want to say a little bit about that?
Yes, we have incredible team of reservation account management. They are truly the heart of the culture of AltoVita. They are very thoughtful, empathetic. There's Carolina, Caroline, Tara, Tiana, Denise, Danny, as well as Nick in Singapore. So very, very blessed to have them, because they are really the front runners. They are the ones who shape our culture and showcase the thoughtfulness, not only of the system, but the whole company culture.
Well, thank you very much. That's been fascinating, and all the best with your growth plans.
Thank you so much, Fiona, for having me here. This has been such a pleasure, and I've enjoyed the day, and look forward to being here again.
And you'll be very welcome.
Thank you.